NAC was designed to be agentless. It supports agentless profiling and also agentless compliance checks. In this demo, we'll show how these compliance checks can be done by integrating with third-party security solutions like antivirus or patch management systems. In this demonstration, we'll be using the Windows 10 device to show compliance. This device is AD joined, so it currently has full access. It can go to the internet. It can ping its default gateway. It also can access the AD server. His web traffic is working normally as well. Let's go back to the dashboard and have a closer look at this endpoint. So here we can see the Windows 10 device is being flagged as AV managed, and it currently has full access. We can click on this full access to see what the policy was that assigned him full access. In this case, we can see that because he has the AD managed flag, he was assigned full access. But these policies are in order of priority. So higher up in priority, we can see that if AV was turned off or if the AV was out of date, he'd be assigned non-compliant status and shown this message. So let's go ahead and turn on the AV compliance checks. And we'll do that by going into configuration and integration, and we're going to integrate with the AV server. So in this demo environment, we're basically using the Sophos AV. And we'll go ahead and enable this integration. Now Sophos supports both the on-premise version as well as the cloud version. In the demo environment, the server is installed on the .200 machine. Now in terms of policies, if it's running the Sophos AV agent, it's going to be flagged as AV managed. If the real-time scanner has been turned off, it'd be flagged as AV off. And also we'll check the signature date. If the AV signature is too old, more than 10 days, it'd be flagged as AV out of date. So those are the policies that we'll be checking. And we can see that the Sophos integration is now enabled. If we go back to the dashboard, we can now see things have changed. We have a device that has limited access to the network, and we also see there's a non-compliant device on the network. It's the same device, and we can drill down for more details. So here we see this Windows 10 device. It has additional flags. It's now flagged as AV managed as well as AV off. It's getting limited access because it has a non-compliant role. If we want to find out why it was assigned that role, we can click on it and it shows us the match. In this case, he had the AV off flag that has higher priority, so it was assigned non-compliant role. Let's go back and take a look at this device. And here we can see it is getting limited access to the network. It can't access the internet anymore. It can't access its default gateway. We're still allowing it to talk to .200 because that's where the AV server is also installed. So we want him to be able to remediate himself. If you open up his browser though, he'll be notified that he's being restricted. So he's getting told he has limited access because he's not compliant with corporate AV policy. Let's go ahead and turn his AV back on. So we'll turn on his real-time scanning. And this will bring them back into compliance. Now this would take a few seconds before it takes effect. Let's go back to the overview screen and show you how that ACL works. So because he's getting the limited access group, he's being assigned an ACL. And those ACLs are configured up in here. And basically, you can basically decide what access a device should get when he has this ACL. In this particular case, we're allowing DHCP traffic to go through, so he can renew his IP address if necessary. This is the port that our agent uses. If he was running an agent, the agent would still work, although this is an agentless demo, so there's no agent running. This port is used for remote desktop, so the help desk would be able to remote into his endpoint if they wanted to. And his web traffic was being redirected to this IP address, so he'd be told what was wrong. And we were allowing traffic to the AV server to go through, and everything else was being denied. And that's the ACL that he has. If we go back and look at that main screen again, we can see it's back in full access, so it's back in compliance with policies. Well, I hope you found this demonstration of agentless compliance checks helpful. Thanks for watching.